Hey everyone, welcome back to the Peterson Bronco. Today I'm going to be going a little bit more in depth with the GOAT modes to tell you kind of when I use certain modes, when I don't, and kind of what I recommend with it. So with the GOAT modes, you have normal, eco, sport, slippery, mud and ruts, sand, baja, and rock crawl. So there's a total of 8 GOAT modes that are available depending on your trim level that you have on your Bronco. So let's dive into it. So let's start off normal mode. Normal mode is really basically for your everyday driving. It's really keeps everything standardized. It has like your normal traction control, your normal steering response, your normal throttle response, everything like that. It's automatically into high. It's really for your basic everyday driving. Now, I use normal modes obviously the most often because this is my everyday driver. But when I do go off-road, I don't just leave it in normal mode and select, my 4 auto, 4 high, front rear lockers, all those things. I don't do it that way because there are definite benefits by using the GOAT modes for the other things that it does change. So again, normal is your everyday driving, great for that. And that's where obviously I would use it. I would use some of the other GOAT modes for their specific purposes. Next, eco. So eco mode, if that is equipped on your vehicle, so with mine being a Wildtrak, I get 7 of the 8 GOAT modes. The GOAT mode that I do not have is rock crawl. But with eco mode is one that I would use if you were driving in the city a lot with lots of start, stop, because you don't really need that heavy acceleration and it'll do a bit better on your gas mileage. Beyond that, if you are living somewhere where you do need to quickly accelerate and move and things like that, eco mode might not be the best for you at that situation for the simple fact that it does lower your throttle response and makes your acceleration, everything a little bit slower. It changes your shift points so that it's more about fuel economy than acceleration or speed. Next, we would have sport mode. So sport mode is where when you put it into sport mode, it's going to automatically put you into 4 auto if that's equipped on your vehicle. It's going to increase your traction control, so you get an advanced traction control. It makes your steering tight and your throttle response really aggressive. So sport mode is really for a situation where you want that fast acceleration, higher speed, but when you're doing it on something that has great traction. So pavement, things like that, where you don't have to worry about your wheel spin. It might slip off the line a bit, but with the advanced traction control, if you're using sport mode on, say, like a gravel road, something like that, you will lose traction quite often, and it's actually going to slow you down. So it's going to affect you because of that advanced traction control. It's going to be taking power away from certain wheels, putting it into other wheels, to more concerned with traction than it is about really your speed or acceleration. So again, sport mode is great on like a track or pavement, but not so much on things that are going to be really loose driving conditions where you're going to lose traction. The next GOAT mode is slippery. So for slippery, it could be used in like snow, ice, rain, anything where you're going to be having a limited traction is a great time to use the slippery mode. So slippery automatically puts it into 4 auto, again, if that's equipped on your vehicle. It puts in the advanced traction control, and then it makes your throttle have like a lower or a softer response, and your steering is a soft response as well. So when you're driving in a slippery situation, you want to use that slippery mode so that when you accelerate, it doesn't really put a lot of torque to your tires, to your wheels, so that you don't lose that traction. And if you should lose traction, it's again the advanced traction control that it's going to help mitigate some of the skids or loss of control of the vehicle. As well as with that softer steering, it's any overcorrection is kind of mitigated in that as well, so that you don't again lose control easier. And with using the slippery mode, really allow the traction control to do what it's supposed to do. If you lose traction, don't just slam on the brakes. It's allow that traction control to actually take care of you in like a slippery or skid situation. So absolutely you can use it really on any surface that you have that limited traction that you want to obviously mitigate. So that's really what slippery is for. Now, I would not be using slippery on some off-road stuff because it's not really designed for that. It's more designed for in town, on the highways, in the city, where you just need that advanced traction control and you don't really necessarily want that throttle response or the chance of overcorrecting with the steering. All right, so the next goat mode I'm going to talk about is mud and ruts. So mud and ruts, when you use that mode, it automatically puts you into a four-wheel high with four-wheel low available. Your rear diff automatically locks, and it keeps the throttle response basically normal, but it makes your steering soft. So it is definitely designed to be an off-road use mode, and it's more for your lower speed off-road. So it's, again, dealing with like mud, ruts, things like that, that you're not necessarily going to be hitting really hard and fast. It's more you want to have that control of the vehicle and get the best traction out of it. And it does shut off your traction control. So that, yes, you can have wheels spin, because if you're in the mud, you don't want your traction control to take over when you're trying to really spin those tires, especially to clean out the sights and everything on the wheels. So mud and ruts, again, more of a low speed off-road is really what it's kind of designed for. So the next thing I'm going to talk about, or the next mode I should say that I'm going to talk about is sand. So sand mode is, again, it's more like using it in a situation where you're going to have less traction while off-roading. So driving in sand, you're going to go automatically into 4 high. It gives you an advanced traction control. Your rear diff is locked. You have normal throttle response and soft steering again. So with the soft steering with mud and ruts and sand is because if you're really going into something and your wheels like then hit something hard, you don't want it to be really jerking out of your hand. You kind of want to have a little bit less of a response between the wheels and your steering wheel. The next mode is Baja. So Baja mode is your more high-speed off-road. So in Baja mode, I typically use that when I'm doing some off-roading where it's a bit more like your gravel roads, your sand roads, things like that, where you can go a lot higher speed. That you want to be able to have that control of the vehicle and the throttle responses, everything like that that you get from it. With kind of going back to the mud and ruts again, with your mud and ruts, Baja, sand, another thing that it changes with those is your shift points. So it's going to hold you in a specific gear a lot longer so that you're getting the higher RPMs so that it's hitting more of the peak of your horsepower. So those things make a big difference. Again, that's exactly why I don't use just normal mode when off-roading, because I want to have that adjustment and capability of control of your throttle response, your shift points, your steering, everything like that. Want to be able to really use the internal computing power that was built into the Bronco, because that's truly what those GOAT modes are for. So the last GOAT mode is rock crawl. So only specific vehicles do have that rock crawl mode, but with the rock crawl is, again, really your low speed off-roading. So it automatically puts you into 4 low. It turns your traction control off. Your rear is automatically locked. You have a soft throttle response and tight steering. So with that, again, it's for the low speed where you want to have real control on where your tire placement is, what it's on, everything like that. So with the rock crawl mode, obviously it also would automatically disconnect the front sway bar if your vehicle is equipped with that. So again, that is a low speed off-road off-road, when you really want to crawl on things, you don't want to be aggressively hitting things hard. So I really hope that that breakdown helps you decide when to use which modes and when not to use which modes. Again, the GOAT modes are designed to help aid you when driving your vehicle in all different situations. The other things that I'll talk about now actually is the other modes that are equipped on the vehicles. So you have your one pedal drive, you have your trail cruise, you have your turn assist, trail turn assist. Those are all things that can be used, again, when off-roading that can also help. So if you are going up a steep incline or going down a steep decline, you could either be using like the one pedal drive so that it auto brakes for you, so that it tries to maintain the momentum of the vehicle, that you're not rocking back and forth. So you can just use your gas pedal, and it's gonna act as if you're doing a two pedal drive. So as you release the throttle, it automatically applies the brake. So it kind of, again, keeps you more stable. The other thing is the trail cruise. You can use that again for a low speed cruise on the trail. I believe it goes from 1 mile an hour up to 5 miles an hour. And it's for really ascending or descending, that it can maintain that speed regardless, or that velocity, regardless of what you're driving over. And it does help. It's kind of more of a fun thing to try. And then you have your trail turn assist, where when you're able to use the trail turn assist, it'll actually fully lock the inside rear wheel when you have the steering wheel fully cranked over. So once you hit that steering wheel stop, it'll lock the inside rear wheel to help you turn around in some tight trails. So those are all really kind of fun things to play around with and try. I highly recommend that you do, get out there, use your vehicle for what it was designed for. And when you're in those situations where you have the ability to try out some of these different modes, then go ahead and try them. Make sure you are in a safe, controlled environment, that you can do that you're not going to cause any damage or danger. But I encourage people, try out the GOAT modes, get used to using them, get comfortable with using them, and simply notice the differences that it makes while you're driving on-road, off-road, everything. There's really, the only way to truly know when you want to use something is to try it. So absolutely give it a try, get out there, have some fun. I hope that this video helps you. And please remember to like, subscribe, and share. And then leave a comment below for anything that you like, anything you agree with, disagree with, anything like that. Or if there's anything that you want to have more information on, just simply let me know. Again, have a great day.